Hello, I am Reverend Dr. Namchez, an instructor of the Cisco Networking Academy. In this video, we will learn about quotes and block quotes in HTML. In addition, how to assign URL citations and footers to block quotes and quotes. So what is a quote? A quote, it can be a phrase or sentence repeated from what someone else has already said. And when a quote becomes too long, maybe 40, 50, 100 words, it's presented as a block quote. So in this video, we will learn how to write HTML quotes and block quotes, and then how to assign footers to block quotes. And so in our last video, we talked about styling your website using the paragraph element and inline styling. So if you are not conversant with HTML, you may not understand this video, you may not follow through this video. So I will advise you to search for our video that talks about styling your web page, inline styling by Reverend Dr. Namchez. And generally, if this is your first time of attending a class in HTML web design, I would rather advise you to start from scratch to look for my video that says your first step in developing a HTML website. And so if you are conversant with arranging your files and your folders and arranging your root folder, and then if you're conversant with paragraph elements and inline styling, you are qualified for this video. In other words, this is our third series. This is our third video in our series of HTML website design. And so we quickly continue with our class. This is our root folder, my website. I will double click on it. It opens. We are still working on our index file. I right click and open in Notepad so I can see my already codes. My index.html, I minimize it, and then I right click again and open with Google Chrome so I can see where we left off in the previous video. So I quickly open my notepad and we continue with our quotes. So I go to the next line, open a paragraph tag. Remember, once you open a tag, you ensure to close it so you don't forget. So I will type my paragraph according to Steve Jobs. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. First up. And so we have a new paragraph. We have a new paragraph. I save, file, save. So we go to the browser and refresh. According to Steve Jobs, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So I would want to apply quotes around innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So I quickly open my note tab and I apply the quote tab. This is how the quote tab, the quote tag, TAG, the quote tag looks like. And I quickly go back to my notepad and type the opening quote tag, and then I close the quote. I'll click File and save my work, then to my browser to refresh, and here comes the quote. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So I will fill up this space, File, save, I refresh. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. That's the quote. So I would like you to practice that. And secondly, to apply a block quote in HTML, I'll quickly open my notepad and go to the next line, or maybe next two lines, to open a paragraph tag, and then close the paragraph tag as expected. And so I will quickly paste my block quote here to save time. So Control S, file and save. According to her, her mission in life goes beyond survival, aiming instead to thrive with passion, compassion, humor, and style. She emphasizes the importance of giving back and making a choice to love rather than hate. Angelo encourages perseverance through defeat and suggests continuing to be oneself to impact the world positively with kindness. So, so this is a quote according to Maya Angelou, but we are coming to that. So I save my work, file and save, and then I refresh. So you can see, according to her, you can see what we just added. So, but this does not appear as a block quote yet. So we are quickly going to attach, uh, assign a block quote tag on these statements that we just highlighted. And now this represents the block quote tag, as you can see on the screen. And now we quickly opened our notepad, and we can bring this closing tag below for easy identification. So this is where our block quote starts. This is where our block quote starts. We open the block quote tag, blockquote. We open the block quote tag, and then we close it right below the closing tag of blockquote as expected. And so we save our work, file, save. We then go to the browser to refresh, and now we refresh it. It's now a block quote because it has been indented to the right. So this is how to make a block quote. This is how to make a block quote. And now the this represents a block quote. So I would like to open a paragraph, a new paragraph on top, P. Okay, I will type, this is an example of a block quote, okay, I would rather type below is an example of block quote. File, save, refresh. So below is an example of a block quote. I will simply copy, Ctrl C, below is an example of a quote, Ctrl S. So I refresh. So below is an example of a quote. Now we see the quote. Below is an example of a block quote. Now this is the block quote. Maybe I should underline below is an example of a quote, the U tag, and then we close the U tag. We could also do the same for below is an example of a block quote, the U tag, and then the U tag. And so we save, file, save, and so we refresh. So below is an example of a quote, and here is the quote. Below is an example of a block quote, and here is the block quote. And so we will indicate that this block quote was said by Maya Angelou. And so we quickly go to our notepad, and this is our notepad. Just before the end of the closing tag of the block quote, we insert our footer opening tag and then our footer closing tag. So in between the footer tags are where you add the name of the person who made the statement in the person of Maya Angelou. So we save our work, file, save, and then we refresh. Right. So according to her, mission in life goes beyond survival, blah, 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 Maya Angelou. So we could equally add a hyphen and then we save, file, save. We go to our browser and then we refresh. So this is an example of a quote. This is an example of a block quote, and this is the footer of the block quote indicating the person that made the statement. And finally, let's add a link, a URL link to the quote by Steve Jobs. Add a URL link to the quote by Steve Jobs. So we quickly go to our text document, and this is the quote according to Steve Jobs. So inside the opening tag of the quote, or rather I say inside the tag opening quote, I give a space, I type cite, CITE, equal to, and now enclosed. So the URL site is inserted inside the opening quote tag. I want you to study this carefully, not at the closing tag, but inside the opening tag. You first of all add a space, and after adding a space, you type CITE equal to the double quotes, and then you insert the URL, Control V, you insert the URL www.brainyquotes.com/quotes/Steve George underscore 416096. Alright, we quickly save, Control S, or you click File and Save, and then we refresh. Oh, I know you expect to see a link here, but this site does not have any visible effect on the browser. It can only be used by screen readers to provide additional text. So it doesn't have any visible effect on the browser. It can only be used by screen readers to provide additional text. So in this video, we already talked about how to assign quotes in HTML, and then how to assign block quotes in HTML web pages, and then how to assign footers to the block quotes indicating the person who made the statement, and then finally how to assign citations that provides additional information for screen readers. You will remember I told you that the cite attribute that we just added lastly does not have any visible effect on the browser, rather it's for screen readers. Thank you very much. Remember to subscribe for the next video. Click subscribe after watching this video, or click subscribe right now in order to receive or have access to the next HTML video. Thank you once again. I am Reverend Dr. Namches. Goodbye.